Let me go ahead. All right, so general,
I
you wanted to like talk about something, you have the floor.
Yeah, so I guess it's the what I would say the entropic value of DNA, right? So I'm pretty sure that trees are really bad at nitrogen fixation, right? Um, in fact, there is a whole symbiosis between soil bacteria and trees when it comes to the fixation of nitrogen, right? And it's interesting because why is it that the trees can't produce their own nitrogen? Why is it that they have to rely on the bacteria in the soil to do it for them? Well, I think the answer should be actually relatively apparent. Um, the the bacteria they, they have generations of themselves more rapidly. They can do evolution more rapidly, and they can fix nitrogen far faster than a multicellular eukaryotic organism possibly can. um so their evolution is easier. But their evolution being, I guess, like more rapid also, like you can't be too complex and have rapid evolution, right? If you want to have rapid evolution, you have to be relatively simple. And this is kind of the game that life is playing. Um, now,
And you have to
I
reproduce in a really short time period as well, so you can create like massive amounts of generations of yourself, correct?
uh, the more rapid you have generations, the more rapidly you can evolve. Yeah. But there's another thing that also like hammers this in. It's like uh when when complex multicellular eukaryotic organisms, when we undergo mutation, well, because we're built, we have so many building blocks. A mutation somewhere like might fuck up the entire system. I mean, this is a very carefully laid out sort of scaffolding, right? Like we can mutate, but we do it very slowly and very surely because we have a complex multicellular organism here. But bacteria, honestly, like you can fuck a lot with the genome of bacteria. I know this. I've done it myself. Like you can fuck with so many things about bacteria, and they're fucking hardy little shits. Like they'll survive anything. The they bacteria, they can always produce a new gene or a new fucking protein. They're the conjurers of all the proteins. They're so good at it. I mean, hell, the placenta actually is bacterial or viral in origin. But the the multicellular complex eukaryotic life, like a human, that's a very complex entity. It's very difficult to do any sort of like big genetic changes because gene A probably interacts with both like Gen Z and Gene Z and Gene M and Gene X and Gene B and like so many fucking genes. Fucking with it in any sort of way, it fucks with a number of things. Look, it's good as it is, basically. So uh the more complex that an organism gets, the more stalled out I think that it gets when it comes to uh, I guess like the ability to mutate. Now, um, that means that we have been left as a species with a pretty fucking like uh unchangeable sort of organism that is like pretty, it's in a stable state, I guess. Like it's in an energy valley. So like it's pretty fucking stable. Obviously it's not like global minima, but it's in its own minima. So it's that's the organism that we happen to possess. That's what humans are. Um, and we only have so much runway that nature has gifted us, right? We have a certain amount of freedom with our DNA, but we don't have like infinite freedom with our DNA. We have like some shit that we can change, but like we're actually very specified. We're not like bacteria, we're humans. Our DNA is actually very specified, very well crafted. There's actually not that many things that you can do with it. We're more advanced than even like a dog, right? Like you can turn a wolf into a pug, but like I don't even think that I don't know if you could. Well, I don't know. Midgets exist. Maybe you could make like a midget like dwarf species. Maybe, I don't know. But there's only so many things that you can do with the human DNA realistically, and this means that there is an entropic limit to the DNA that we have, right? Because there's only so many possibilities that can be worked out. There's only such a combinatoric explosion that you can have with a very limited DNA set. The combinatoric explosion is very large, but it is not infinite. And as we explore more and more aspects of our DNA, you do end up with the entropic limit, like eventually all conceivable spaces of being a human will be explored within the DNA landscape, and the possibilities over time will end up shrinking. I think. This sort of this represents a kind of a problem when it comes to our species as a whole. I don't know how we're gonna get around it. Fuck me if I know. But it's a problem that we as humans are facing. So yeah, there it is.
So I think what you're trying to say, right, is that we as human beings have hit a plateau in our evolution, and our ability to evolve has, kind of hit a limit due to the complexity of our like DNA structure and how we're like wired.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
But isn't the majority of the problem the fact that like the vast majority of us live the same way and protect ourselves from the elements and nature and like things that would force evolution upon us?
You can try to shelter yourself from nature god, obviously. Like what are reading glasses, right? Or just glasses in general. Nature god ordained that those with bad eyesight should probably die, and we got around that. We made glasses, and now they don't have to die anymore, although they should have. Shit like that. Yeah, mankind goes against nature god all the time, but but
I'm
we're
saying
just
like the basic structure of how mutations happen, right, is through forced mutation, right, in order to adapt to one's local environment and surroundings. And us continuing to like hide and shelter inside of like these structures that we create ends up causing us to not, like evolve, right? Causes us not to have like those evolutionary like abilities put upon us.
I'm going to say something really nerdy here.
Mm.
But the way that I see it is like this. If you look at Warhammer 40K, I know you're going to fucking hate this, Tom. But if you look at Warhammer 40K, right?
Mhm.
It's like it's been 40,000 years, post Earth. And there's like trillions of humans and billions of humans die every day, and it's just it's a blender. Um and you know at that point, like the human species has completely dominated the galaxy, but they're tired, they're tuckered out, they have reached really um they've done everything that their own DNA can possibly allow them to do. Their DNA has run out of uh novelty, because they've explored like the entire I guess entropic value of their own DNA. They're a tuckered out species, whereas if you look at the Tau, um they're a very fresh species in the galaxy. They're actually very technologically, able to do shit. They have no qualms with, making mech suits and like cool guns, and also AI, which is probably going to end up being their downfall, as was it for man. But they like it's like their DNA still has a lot of potential in it, right? Whereas like in 40K, the human race is a tuckered out species. The Tau are fresh on the market, and it seems like they have more room to explore going forwards. I that is all to say, I think that um there's an inherent sort of like um uh search space in DNA that is exploitable for some time, but not forever, right? Actually, nature itself has the same clock, but it's a much, much grander and larger
Well,
clock.
let me ask you something. Isn't like a good portion of like our DNA, like implanted from like bacteria and viruses and shit?
The placenta is from a virus.
No, no, no. I mean, like, isn't like a portion of our DNA come from like the amount of diseases that like we survived and like evolved to and all that type of shit, and it changed the way like we were as a species.
Uh, as I said, the placenta, it actually comes from viral DNA, as far as we can tell. Um, we probably absorbed a decent number of genes from viruses and bacteria, just through the process of living with them. Yeah, yeah. No, it's not just purely about man plus woman equals child. There is like some gene play that happens with viruses and bacteria. Yeah,
It's
100%.
not, it's not
Yeah.
just that, but like just historically, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like my hypothesis of us like living inside of houses and like stopping us and like cleaning and scrubbing and like killing all the viruses and bacteria around us end up like actually like causing us to like even evolve even slower as a species.
If you're saying that like it's a dumb idea to, live in a fucking super clean environment, and like maybe it's okay to live with the bacteria and the viruses and the dirt. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course I would agree with that. Yeah, that's probably healthy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Wouldn't that help like evolution?
It might. It might. I'm not smart enough to know the answer to that, but it might.
So like what you're saying is, right, is that our DNA, right? And because like I know we're still in a state of evolution because our teeth are floating still at this point. right? Like our jaws are like our jaws are not big enough for our teeth, like our wisdom teeth and all that type of shit, right? And like people are literally now being born without wisdom teeth, so we're still evolving as a species.
I never got wisdom teeth. I don't have a single one.
See? Now,
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of those new breeds of motherfuckers and shit.
Oh, shit. Fuck. I'm just more domesticated. That sucks.
I'm less domesticated.
Ah, God damn it. Ah.
Right? So, like, like this is so. What is like? I mean, your conclusion of like your whole hypothesis and shit. Now that you understand things a little deeper and you had a chance to work it out, and I mean, like, be questioning the shit.
Well, I continue to think that there there is a uh there's a like fucking multi-dimensional fucking possibility space that DNA can explore. But when it comes to like a species that has a very specified region of space where like we can exist in that like DNA, fucking like we're talking about like a fucking 1,000 dimensional fucking space. But in that 1,000 dimensional fucking space, there's a specific region of it where like human beings can like basically like survive, and it's actually not a very large space, and anything outside of that leads to humans not being able to exist. So like we have a to be fair, we have a very large space to explore, but it is not infinite, and we can get tired out. And this is why to really take it back, to the beginning of this conversation earlier, Tom. That's why we need to be the grabby aliens that eat
Fucking
the universe
retarded.
before anyone else eats us.
Fucking retarded.
Nah, dude, we got to eat. We got to eat first.
I feel like that's fucking retarded.
What, Tom? On the galactic scale, would you rather be a herbivore or a carnivore?
I mean, I don't really care about the galactic scale.
Okay, but let's say that galactic scale fucking civilizations might exist at some point in the future. Perhaps humanity could become one. Given that that might be a thing, given that hypothesis, in that world, would you rather be a herbivore or a carnivore?
I mean, given that idea, I still don't care.
What? You're a fucking nihilist, really?
No, I in general don't care. Right? Like, so here's here's my mentality. All right. I think that what we're going to do, right? Fucking yeah, legendary Jew says herbivore is better. Thank you, my dear.
Nice.
It says y'all got to see ancient apocalypse. Fucking younger dryas impact hypothesis. Yeah, I'm well aware of this, right? Like real shit. But like, here's my mentality, right? I think that because of the fact that we are, I mean, like not evolved to like live in space. We're not evolved to like even be in space. The fact that like this idea is going to require like a one world type of government thing to get things like off the fucking ground, right? And the fact that like we can't deal with ourselves here to even just begin with. We have barely even cracked the surface of being able to understand like how politics actually works and operates and all the things that go with it, right? We don't know how to live as human beings yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. We're I agree. We are but infants in this whole game. I uh I would never try to hype up man more than it's worth. I think that man is a very arrogant fucking object. But I at the same time, like if we can spread nature god to other planets, because right now nature god is located right here on Earth and it's stuck here. there is such a thing as Darwin God, right? Where it's like, there might be like other aliens that also, existed under evolutionary pressures. And they exist out there and they have their own nature gods that all, fundamentally exist under the one true Darwin God. But our nature God, I'm pretty sure that it wants to get off this planet and spread. And I think that it seems to have ordained man with like this very bizarre ability. We are the smartest. We are the smartest motherfuckers in 4 billion years. It is actually nuts just how smart and arrogant and dumb man is. I think that nature God wants us to spread it to other planets or other star systems. I think that's what nature God wants from us. Why would he gift us with such intelligence otherwise?
I mean, listen, the moment like I see any real evidence of aliens, right, this conversation changes immediately, right? You know what I mean? Then it gets to like a level where I go, all right, bro, well, like, it looks like we're going to learn how to kill some aliens, right? But until that point, I don't give a fuck, right? Because at the moment, my main triage of issue is like the human species and how we're living at the moment.
And you should focus on that because that's actually a really important fucking thing. I'm just trying to look a little bit ahead, and I'm just going, look,
I understand where you are, but like triage is what triage is at the moment, right? Like nigga, like you don't stand here and like fucking dig the hangnail out of somebody who's like fucking got a gunshot wound to the chest.
Interesting metaphor, and actually I like it, but it's not. I don't think it's like that. I think it's more like
at the moment we have to recover our civilization from a bunch of like lead poisoned motherfucking people who have sold off like everything that was created up until this point, right? And get back to being fucking human beings and figure out how to make ourselves into like proper and decent human animals.
From my perspective,
before we go all grabby alien shit, right? We should probably, fucking, like gather ourselves off the fucking floor. You know what I mean? To start with, maybe we should stand up first. You know what I mean? Before we like try to run.
Mankind has been standing up for actually quite some time. We're actually pretty good at standing up.
No, we're laying down with 2 broken legs at the moment.
There is a particular fucking war that humanity is having right now between honestly what I would say, the demons and the people that just want to get on with their lives. That is what it is. Yeah. But
Listen, we have to get past the point of like seeing humans as productive economic units and seeing humans as humans and understanding that some humans aren't going to be productive economic units coming forward, right? And understanding that like, we probably should like have a plan for like more than just the human beings who are going to go into fucking space, right? Like there should be more to like human beings than what the fuck it is we're doing at the moment. Right, and we should allow human beings to like live as humans. That's an important part of being a fucking human, right? Like for instance, we have all these fucking people who, you have met, you have like ran across, who, ran you out of the scientific fields, who probably shouldn't even be like fucking working altogether. They should probably be like, fucking, doing anything the fuck else. Probably be like, like in charge of like some fucking local goddamn township fucking meeting or some shit, or like some witch's coven somewhere. Like they should be doing anything the fuck else than what they're doing. They should be attached to other humans and like have them been socialized properly. But unfortunately, all these people are adults and have another 40 years to work through the goddamn system before we have a chance to deal with any of this.
I've encountered a lot of PhDs in my life that like work for labs, and they it's like they're literally like they're doing shit that a highly skilled fucking college dropout could do. Like
Yeah.
I I knew this one like this lady. She was Chinese. She had a PhD, and she's a very hard worker. But fundamentally, all she did all day was run fish tests, right? Which is fluorescent immuno something or other. I forget. But I that was the only thing that she did, and like literally, if you took a high schooler and you were like, here, this is how to do this operation, you just got to do this like all day, every day, like they could do it. They wouldn't need to know any background about fucking biology or biochemistry or whatever the fuck. They could just do that shit, and that's what a PhD does. It's shit that honestly you could train a high schooler to do it. And by the way, I know that is the case because I personally trained a high schooler to do that shit.
Well, listen, I agree with you, right? And so like this is the mentality, right? Is like, we as humans have yet to figure out like any of the things that really get down to like, being fucking human. I mean, we don't understand that like, probably as a whole, like these people should not be living on their own. I mean, these motherfuckers should like probably be part of like a fucking community and like a family and all the things that go with it, right? And I mean, and be like functional members of like a real and actual society. You know what I mean? But like, unfortunately, we think that like everybody should just be fucking free to do whatever they want, and that's the propaganda we push towards everyone, right? And we have yet to figure any of this shit the fuck out as a whole. As I said, our politics is, in its infancy, right? And like the idea that we're going to be able to like become a multi-dimensional motherfucking like large grabby alien society where we're going to eat other aliens is fucking retarded. Because like the moment they build some fucking spaceships, they're gonna they're gonna try and put women in charge of them. Did you see what happened in New Zealand here recently?
Yeah. She crashed the ship, but she's commended that no one died.
Yeah, this is not the first time this has happened, right? Like this shit happens on a regular basis. This is what they're going to do. They're going to put women in charge of the fucking spaceship, and she's going to run it into the fucking moon.
I'm not sure why we put women in charge of things. I'm sure that like at some point mankind can like, figure this out and realize that women should not be in charge of things. Like I mean, for like most of human history, like mankind knew like, yeah, don't put women in charge of shit, don't give them the right to vote. Like obviously it's really like only in the 20th and 21st century that we're like, oh yeah, give women the right to vote.
Yeah.
And it's gone horribly. Like our don't worry, our ancestors will learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. Listen, no, our descendants, you think will learn from our mistakes, but you're
sorry.
Not
yeah,
right.
Our descendants.
You are not right about that.
What do you mean?
You're not right about that. You're not
you
going to learn.
You don't think that our descendants will learn from our mistakes?
Have you talked to Gen Z?
Gen Z is actually super fucking retarded, as far as I can tell.
Okay, have you met Gen Alpha yet?
Probably even more retarded.
Okay, so do you think they're going to learn? And by the way, they have 70 years on this planet yet. These are the people you're going to fucking like work to put in fucking, grabby alien shit to?
I have some hope.
Would you fucking stop? Please stop, dude. Just fucking stop.
I have some hope for Gen Z. I have very little hope for Gen Alpha. I think that might just be a lost generation. We just gotta chalk that up to it didn't work out.
We're gonna have 23 years of human beings who are fucking worthless.
Yeah. Well, all the kids that went through COVID, I think, are especially in their formulative years, like when they're like 5 to 10 or whatever, like that entire bracket that like went through COVID, I think they're completely fucked, like that particular age range. But
I'm telling you, we're gonna have 23 years of complete and utter garbage. How about again, like we figured out how to be humans first before we go like, hey, let's go fucking build spaceships. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they're going to put women in charge of it.
unfortunately,
you understand that like one of these retards is gonna put a sticker on the side of it. It's gonna fucking like end up like fucking causing too much drag and blow the whole fucking thing up.
I am not the I am not saying that this is necessarily wise, right? But um uh we have but one shot to become the grabby alien and eat everything in our path.
One shot. We have more.
We have but one shot. No, we actually do, because if humanity falls, right? If we let's say that we fall into a 3,000 year dark age or some shit like that, which is, I think, actually possible. Then it'll be impossible to rebuild industrial civilization, because all the easily accessible oil and coal has already been sucked out. Like they'll just live in
listen,
like they won't be able to restart industrial civilization.
Let me explain something to you. You know who still exists right now?
People?
The Italians.
As do a lot of people,
No, the Italians still exist right now.
As do the Anglos, as do, technically speaking, the American Indians.
Yeah, listen, the Italians still exist, all right? And they will continue to exist.
And they will continue to be annoying.
Yeah, but like we will continue to save your knowledge and all of human beings' knowledge. We will continue to fucking hold on to the culture and the ideas, right? And we will fucking bring it back when it needs to come back. Maybe we need to take a break for 300 or 400 years and relax and, come back again and try this, a third time, and not this time, like, do it retardedly.
Interesting thought, but we've already burned through all the easily accessible oil and gas and coal, and uranium, mind you. At this point, like, we have to shit or get off the pot. Either this is literally the best opportunity we have to become grabby aliens, and if we choose not to do it, and we get bogged down in fucking women's studies or whatever the fuck, then I don't think that we'll ever become grabby aliens. Like, this is our one fucking opportunity.
We're not going to become grabby aliens. Calm the fuck down.
But we could if we wanted to, and that's probably smart.
Listen, what you should do is find a bitch and make some kids, and that way, when the time comes and Social Security's not there, you have somebody to help you out.
Dude, ultimately, like,
What? What? You should probably put your own oxygen mask on before you try to start talking about what other motherfuckers should do.
My ultimate goal is not towards my own family. It's towards nature god, right? I will always put nature god before myself.
Yeah. Again, you're not putting nature god before yourself. You're literally bro, listen, what you're doing is, right?
This is how you ensure the existence of the nature god.
Have fallen the fuck off, right? And you're telling the guy with the parachute how to do fucking loop-de-loops or whatever.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry if you're not haven't put your oxygen mask on.
I'm sorry if you're not happy with nature god becoming a grabby alien, but I'm pretty sure that's what he wants to do. So honestly, your position doesn't really matter.
My position doesn't matter at all. I know this, right? But I'm telling you what's gonna happen versus what you think will happen, unless we've already become grabby aliens. Which that's a possibility. Listen, I just told you earlier today, they're spending $12 billion each on some fucking, aircraft carriers. If that's the actual cost, I don't know where the rest of that fucking, $900 billion we spend a year goes.
Actually, $20 billion for an aircraft
12.
carrier? 12?
Yeah.
$12 billion for an aircraft carrier actually seems really cheap. Holy shit, for how much money we're spending, we could build 100 of those fuckers. Why do we only have 18 throughout the past 30 years?
This is what I'm saying, bro. Again, so I don't know, maybe we are fucking already grabby aliens and we don't know it.
Well, that's what I would want, obviously.
I mean, we might already be there. So how about like we solve shit since we're already there?
I mean, if we were already there, then I would say that we should focus on, the betterment of humanity and living within our ecosystem in a way that conforms towards nature God. Like that's what I would say if we were there. But
Legendary
I don't.
Jew said we kind of are, like how we domesticate animals and plants. If we go to space, it's only natural us to do that in space too. Right, yeah, we're kind of going to be herbivores up there too. Like it is what it is because we have diets that we need to maintain.
I mean, if human beings ever went to other stars or whatever, it's too costly to keep cows on board. We would probably all become like vegans. But I don't think we've done it yet. I don't think we've done it yet, and like we have to push. I really believe this, man. I think that we have to push for nature God to become a grabby alien and nom 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 the Milky Way galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, like 100%.
$13 billion for the new Ford class aircraft carrier.
That seems incredibly fucking cheap. There's no fuck. I thought it was 50 billion. Is it only 13 billion?
Yeah, I'm showing it on my screen right now.
That's nuts.
What are we spending the rest of our money on?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. Kind of fucking crazy.
It can't all be going to the Jews and the Ukrainians, right?
Not a possibility at all.
Where's it all going? I mean, like, I know that, like, so much of our tax dollars goes towards keeping the boomers alive an extra 3 weeks or whatever. Like, that's really important. End of life care for the boomers. That's what most of our tax dollars go towards. Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, that kind of shit. Well,
I mean, listen, bro. Like again, the budget for the U.S. Air Force was nearly $260 billion.
Most of that has to go into paying people, right? How many people are in the Navy? We have $260 billion. How many people in the Navy do we have?
I don't know. How many people?
Okay.
How many people in the Navy? Hang on, man.
Hold on, I can look it up if you don't want to.
Navy. Hang on, we're looking up. 330,000.
Okay, so let's say for a moment that we had you said there's about 300,000 people in the Navy, and the Navy receives about $260 billion. So let's figure out how many dollars per person that is. So that's 300,000 divided by
That's not the math. So how much was it? It was like 230 billion. Divided by 1,000. That'll be like 696,000 per person.
Yeah, it's 800. It's $866,000 per person. It's almost $1 million per person. I'm sorry. Am I meant to believe that every single person in the Navy, we spend about $1 million on them? Really? That's nuts. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, like, yeah, I understand that, like, we got to build ships or whatever, but like on average, the Like, per dollar that we spend on the Navy versus how many people there are in the Navy, we spend about $1 million per person. Really? That can't be right. Nothing about that makes sense.
Hang on, I have a question. Do we spend per year on military pay? Okay, all right. Here we go. Okay, so the U.S. government spent $302 billion on veterans benefits and services.
Okay, how many veterans are there?
A lot.
I mean, even so, for some reason, theoretically, every single person in the military right now, we're spending almost $1 million on each of them. Specifically, like 900,000, but like a million. We're spending about $1 million on every single person that goes into the Navy. That can't be right. These people are not worth that much.
Yeah, so okay, it says in 2025 they're going to spend $369 billion.
For okay, $369 billion
Plus pensions, plus disability, plus like fucking like
for how many veterans? 369 billion for how many veterans?
okay. How many veterans in the US? 17.9 million.
Okay, 18 million.
369 billion.
Oh, that's okay, so that's actually that works out to 20k. That works out to 20k per year. We're paying out we're paying out 20k per year to veterans. That's
not bad.
What are you talking? That's actually Jesus. That's 20k a year is shit. Fuck. Dude, I swear to God, it's almost as though the military eats people up and chews them up and spits them out as though they're like worthless trash, and then they just get to go fuck off.
Well, let's do this, right? I mean, like, yo, we can actually like write this shit down, right? All right, so what was it? It was like 360 billion, something like that, on fucking veteran shit. 300 and what?
Yeah, I think it was 360 billion.
Okay, so and then another 80 billion for overseas bases, right? How much for DARPA? DARPA don't get much. I figured DARPA would be bigger. It's only like $5 billion. Because I kind of want to know where all this shit goes.
Wait, how many veterans were there again?
18 million.
18 million.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of goddamn veterans. Fuck, I didn't realize there were so many. 18 million is I mean, that's almost as many, illegal Mexicans as we have.
Okay, so all right, so you have, and listen, fucking, if the total spending were divided across every U.S. resident, it would amount to $1,679 per U.S. citizen. Of those funds, 389.5 billion, 70% were spent on contracts of products and service. 159.4 billion was paid salaries of DoD personnel. So there's another chunk, right? 159 billion dollars on fucking salaries for just DoD.
Is there a point when like you can just go like maybe there's an issue with the military, like maybe there's an issue with it, like maybe there's like there's a problem, like there's something that I do respect about about the American military. It's that it has never done a coup. Many nations have had the military do a coup against the republic or the kingdom or whatever. It's happened so many times throughout history. It's not even funny. But for some reason, the American military has never done a coup. They are the most loyal fucking attack dogs that have ever existed, and they're fucking beautiful for that. But,
Yo, the Department of Defense spent $16.7 billion with Pfizer.
how many dollars?
16.7 billion.
The Department of Defense? Why were they having sex with Pfizer?
I mean, vaccines.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, right.
This is 2022. So all right,
right, yeah.
All right, so Lockheed Martin got 44 billion, Raytheon got 25 billion, General Dynamics 21 billion, Pfizer 16.7 billion, Boeing 14.2 billion, Northrop Grumman 12.8 billion, Humana 7.7 billion, L3 Harris Technology 6.2 billion, Huntington Ingalls 6.1 billion, and BAE Systems 4.9 billion.
Is this 2023?
2022.
Net or gross?
Is it possible that okay, this is kind of the way that I see this. I feel like the government has a harem, and like some of the females that we know are Microsoft and Amazon and Twitter and Facebook and all these great entities, Boeing and Raytheon and fun stuff like that. But like it's like the government has a harem, and that's kind of like what we exist. And it's not like we don't actually exist in this so-called thing called capitalism, right? Like that's silly. What we exist in is individual little units in a fun game of the U.S. government having a harem, and they have so many little fuckboys.
You're a gentleman amongst men.
I am. Thank you.
How you doing?
Right, all right. So DoD funding for military activities support a broad range of activities. Largest category, operation and maintenance, cost $318 billion in 2023. It covers the cost of military operations, such as training, planning, maintenance of equipment, most of the military healthcare system, separate from the outlays made by the Department of Veterans Affairs. The second largest category, military personnel, supports pay and retirement benefits for the service members, costs $184 billion. Right, several smaller categories accounting for the rest of the DoD spending. Procurement of weapons and systems cost $142 billion in 2023, and $122 billion was spent on research and development of weapons and equipment. The military also spent over $10 billion on the construction and military facilities, and $1 billion on family housing. I don't know. Like legit, I don't know. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Because if an aircraft carrier costs $13 billion, why is all the rest of this so fucking expensive?
$13 billion seems really cheap.
It does seem really cheap. That's got to be a typo.
I mean, literally, it's a city with a nuclear reactor and it has to float. Like that has to cost more than $13 billion.
Hang on, man.
I want to guess like between 50 and 80 billion. Like that's what I want to guess. It's a city, it's a floating city with a nuclear reactor. That has to be between like 50 and 80 billion. Come on.
Yeah, there's just no way that's a thing.
Well, according to Wiki, wait, let me look this up. Okay, according to Wikipedia, how much does an aircraft carrier cost?
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Wait, hold on. Okay, Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carrier. That's an older one. Let me look
that's
at.
A new one. That's a new one.
No. I'm pretty
That's a
sure
new
that's
one.
an old. Is that the new one?
That is a new one.
Oh, is it the new one? Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Why then? Why would we name it Ford?
There's no way this is real. All right, bro. Listen. There's no way. It seems so cheap. Yo, the average annual operating cost of a supercarrier is $1.18 billion.
Okay, right. So I just did a control F on all the cost words in the Wikipedia article. And okay, so right. Program cost $37 billion for an entire program of developing this. Yeah, but that's the program cost. The price of the ship. Well, I guess yeah, 37 billion. Yeah, okay. 37 billion, I guess, is the Gerald R. Ford class. 37 billion seems cheap, but I guess, to be fair, human beings are pretty good at making boats, so like maybe I don't know.
It costs $8 million a day to operate.
I mean, how many dollars a day does a yacht take to operate when you have like a full service crew on it? If you have a full service crew on a yacht, it's basically like it's a yacht is like a little community. Like you gotta have like a service crew. Like it's incredibly expensive to operate a yacht. Think about operating an aircraft carrier. You're operating a city that brings zero economic value to anybody. It is literally just a shield. Like, fuck, yeah, that's difficult to goddamn operate. It provides no value to anyone except it's a shield. God, it's an expensive shield as well because it's the size of a city.
Yeah, so 8 million times 365 days is $2,920,000,000. So basically $3 billion just to run the shit.
What's the what is the what theoretical GDP of the U.S.? It's some trillion.
22 trillion, 23 trillion.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Wait, is that world or U.S.? Shit, I
US.
forget.
US.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, what's the GDP of the U.S. government?
Doesn't have a GDP.
What's the tax collection per year of the U.S. government?
Like 6 trillion.
So the GDP of the U.S. is about like 23 trillion, and the government tax collection is about 6 trillion. Yeah, that's
Well, it spends about 11 trillion.
It collects 3 trillion and it spends 11 trillion per
Yes.
year.
Yes. Hang on, I'll get you to that.
That's I don't know if that's a balanced system. That's a wobbly table.
Okay, here we go. All right, so we got USA spending.gov. Is that it? No, not gov. I don't want gov. I want fucking.com. Government spending.com. Okay. So total spending 11.33 trillion. Hang on. Hang on a second. Charts. I don't want charts first. Spending details. Total spending overview. Hang on. Wait a minute. Okay, so the total spending 10.5 trillion. Annual deficit is 1.86 trillion, something like that. Hang on. So 28.3 trillion is the whatchamacallit? Is the GDP.
Yeah.
These are not the things that numbers. Federal spending breakdown. Total spending in trillions. Is this it? Yeah, this is the spending per trillions. Home. Debt deficit analysis.
You know, I have no idea what you're looking at. Do you want to share your screen?
Hang on, mate. Let me share screen.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, federal budget. Okay. No. Taxes. Revenue totals. Breakdown. Wait. And state taxes. State and local. Debt deficit analysis. Because like there's like a whole bunch of shit on here. I just gotta find the right one. I don't know which one's the right one. And federal budget analysis. Maybe? Go away, stupid ad. Okay. I want numbers. I get numbers. That's kind of what I want. I want like analysis. analysis, maybe. Spending capita, spending pie charts, and spending, pension spending, education spending. I want all this shit. Total spending. Alright, yeah, okay. So total spending is 10.5 trillion, pensions was 1.9 trillion, healthcare is 2.3 trillion, education is 1.5 trillion, defense is 1.3 trillion, welfare 0.6 trillion. Total spending 10.5 trillion. Revenue totals, maybe. All right, yeah. So they took in 5.1 trillion. They spent 10.5. Total revenue is 10.5 trillion.
They took in 5, they spent 10.
Yeah.
And this compounds year on year on year, and the total like deficit is like at this point, what is it, like 35 trillion, 40 trillion, whatever the fuck it is?
Yeah.
Oh man. Most of that is actually owed to American citizens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the people that are carrying bonds. Ooh. 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 You know what? What if,
Oh no, 11.3
bonds
trillion. 11.3 trillion.
What if bonds just started to become worth less, than they were worth less than like the previous, time that you checked it. What if the American bonds, what if those were to start falling? What sort of forest fire would occur if American bonds stopped gaining slow but steady value because America fundamentally has to default on its debt? Like, what happens then?
Well, here's some
That's a
crazy
forest
shit.
fire.
Yeah. I mean, welcome. Yeah, fucking great. Gross federal debt, $35.1 trillion.
At this point, not even God, the Emperor Trump can save us. Like, it's what an interesting economic system we found ourselves in.
I fucking like it's so big that I know that there's a thing out here. You know what I mean? Right? Because like I know it's all out here, right? Like legit. Gotta find it. I don't know where the fuck the thing is. Federal state total spending in trillion. Maybe I don't know. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't even know what other spending is. Education, healthcare is 21%. Defense, fuck are you? Welfare, pensions, government pensions, government healthcare, education, national defense, welfare, all other spending. What is all other spending? Like the fuck is that? Oh, police, fire, law, courts, prisons, road, rail, airports, legislative, executive, finance, research, economic, agriculture, energy, environment, interest on government debt. Federal deficit, $1.9 trillion.
There was this there was this anime that I recently read. I read it all in I read it all in one night, and it was it's called Uzumaki, and it's I think Uzumaki literally translates from Japanese to spiral. But it's like it's this it's this beautiful fucking story and a horror story of like the spiral. The spiral is like the curse. It is the spiral. It is the curse. And it just it like there's no method or reason to any of it. It is a demon without a purpose, and it just tortures. And it's such a good horror story. It is so bleak. It is so dark. It satisfies everything that I want in my little tummy. It is the bleakest, darkest shit that I think. Oh, it's so dark. It haunts me. Oh, it haunts me. It's good shit.
Yeah, it's just, what the fuck what is this? What is? I think the red numbers are the negatives. Yeah, the red numbers are the negatives. Right. So this is income taxes, Social Security taxes, ad valorem taxes. Right. You know what I mean? Which is like, hang on. Property taxes is what I'm kind of interested in.
Dude, why are you looking at a website with this many fucking ads on it? This is whatever this is. It's a fucking scam.
It's not a scam. It's a really good website.
Okay.
Like, when have you ever seen this much information about like all the fucking breakdowns of all the shit? Look at this.
Okay, fine. I stand corrected.
You know what I mean?
It could be providing good information.
I guess this is great info, though. You know what I mean? Like, overview. Where's the numbers? Do you have any numbers? Total revenue, federal revenue, spend debt analysis. Like, listen, I don't want to look at the PDF. Where the fuck? Yo, I have no idea. Yeah, but it's fucking, like, this shit's crazy, though. Like, legit, fucking, spending over. There are a lot of ads on this. Yeah, so, you know.
We should stop spending so much money, but also we have a huge debt, and also, well, it might be that the only way out of this is that government bonds go to effectively zero. Oopsie poopsie, big forest fire, but sometimes forest fires occur, right? Like, that's basically how this works.
That's how it has to work, because there's no other way.
Yep. A little bit of an oopsie poopsie.
Alright, well, listen, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm about to take my ass to sleep, so I'm gonna fucking holler
at
you.
Alright, 100%, bro.
Alright, man.